Good afternoon, guys, and happy Friday to all of your sunshiny faces, guys. We just have the weekend left, and then and then we have Monday, and then it's Christmas. Christmas Eve, and then Christmas. But, you know, this is like kind of like, you know, the last not rushed, like, day. Which is like really weird. I think I was telling you guys yesterday, like, it's really weird that like the high school and elementary schools and everything like that, I believe today was like they got off school today, which like the high school had finals today, so they got at like 9 o'clock. So Jack's tutor ended up actually coming early today. She came at like 11 o'clock, I think, or something like that. I was here for like an hour or two. Gave Jack his last final, which I guess he did actually pretty well in all of his classes, like for his final grade and for and with his finals, but she wanted to try and get it done earlier, like while the teachers are still at school, because I think they still have like a regular like full day today, but she wanted to try and get it done so that she could bring it to his teacher, whichever one they had to finish. I don't know if it was biology or something like that, so that they could finish it, so that he could get, or she could get it to them and they could grade it for his to be in his final today instead of waiting until after break to get it. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen after break. I think I was telling you guys, is like fine to go back after break now. I'm not sure how the whole thing is supposed to work though, like with what work he missed and how he's gonna make that up, and like if he's gonna be behind in the class. Like they went over a little bit of like some of the stuff that he missed on like Monday, but then the other 4 days he was like testing on his final and everything like that. So Brav is trying to get up on my bed and he can't get up right now. Come on, come on, come on, dude, do it. Do it. Yeah, you got it. I was trying to move out of the way for him. Anyways, I have my Mac is charging right now, and I don't want to move the charger over to my desk. It's next to my bed right now, and I don't have anywhere to put my Mac other than right next to the like head of my bed. So that's why I'm sitting right in the middle of my bed right now. And the dog is going to bury himself. I was trying to. I think he's trying to find somewhere comfortable to lay right now. He was like digging, like pawing at my blankets and moving them around and stuff. And I was gonna lay right on top of my jacket. Watch that. See? There he goes. Anyways, I told you guys that I would probably show you guys the all the Christmas presents I got and everything like that in today's vlog, but I actually think I might either do it tomorrow or maybe on Sunday and show you guys. Again, I want to try and get that stuff done earlier. I do not want to wait until the last minute and like do it on Christmas Eve or anything like that. I don't have the time right now to try and get it done, or at least to show you guys, and then wrap the stuff later. So yeah, well, Brav is back here like licking himself. Charlie's up here and he's like passed out. Can you guys see? Oh, I scared him. I woke him up. His eye like flung open. He is super sleepy. I actually ended up moving some of the freezer dinners out to the garage freezer. So Jack took them outside and they were all running around, and he feels warm, like he like worked up a sweat or something. But he feels really warm, like compared to Bravo. I feel like Charlie feels a lot warmer. And obviously I think he's a lot tireder. But guys, today, so I was up the last 2 days now. I've been up at 8 o'clock, which is really good. I've been going to bed. Actually, last night I went to bed a little bit later. It's actually 10:15. I'm going to go to bed. I don't think I went to bed last night until like closer to midnight or so. And I think it was just because we were like out at the grocery stores and stuff like that. We got back at like 9 o'clock or something. So we were back home kind of late. So by the time I got back, I was still like all like wired and stuff like that from just, you know, being out and stuff. And you know, if we came home so late, so that's why. But we ended up, I don't think I went to bed last night until probably closer to midnight. Like I don't think I fell asleep until maybe, or like maybe fell asleep by like 1:30 or almost 2 or something like that, but I was up at 9 o'clock. And the day before that I was up at 8 o'clock, and I wanted to be up early again today too, because I wanted to at least make myself something for breakfast, you know, like let the dogs out, feed them and stuff like that before Jack's tutor got here, which again I thought was somewhere between like 11 o'clock or something. So again, I wanted to at least make sure I was up by like 9 or 10 at least to try and, again, make sure I got all that stuff done within an hour or two before she got here. So, you know, and not be like, oh my gosh, it's like 10:30 and I have like a half an hour and I gotta try and get the dogs out, make myself food. And I made some of the like potatoes O'Brien. I like sort of what I make when I make my breakfast potatoes, but just like the not instant stuff, but the frozen stuff from Aldi. And so I had a bag of that in the inside freezer, and so I ended up cooking that up because we need a little room in the inside freezer as well. But I wanted to make that too, and it takes about a half hour or so to bake. So again, I didn't want to spend, you know, or have no time in the morning or anything before she got here. So anyways, I was up right around 9 o'clock and I was like, Jack, okay, did you take the dogs out and stuff like that? And he's like, no, not yet. Like, you know, I'll bring Bliss downstairs. So I hear her, you know, trotting down the stairs, and I can hear it because she goes right over my room. And all of a sudden I hear this, like, I hear her coming down the stairs, and all of a sudden I hear this huge like tumble, and I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? I'm like still in my pajamas, like still just barely like conscious and waking up, and I was like, what's going on? Like, what happened? And my mom's like, oh my gosh, what happened? My mom was like in the hallway, like doing something either with the puppies, or she was like even just walking into her room where she was like doing something and she didn't see what happened. Bliss, I guess, had come down the stairs, and it came like, got about halfway or so, or maybe even a little less than halfway, and she slid down the stairs. She didn't tumble, but she like slid down the stairs, whereas Ike has fallen down our stairs many times, even when we had carpet on them. So it's not like, oh, because they're just really, it's really slick and stuff like that, you know, because they're wood and everything. No, that wasn't why. Ike used to fall down the stairs and full tumble down the stairs even when we had carpet. So that wasn't, you know, not necessarily why it happened. But she ended up coming down, I guess, halfway down the stairs, and ended up like just sliding, like her legs gave out underneath her, or she tripped, or something happened, and she ended up just like falling down the stairs, but more in a slide and not like a roll, like she went like head over heels, or, you know, like tumbled sideways or anything like that. So at first we were like, oh my goodness, is she okay? She wasn't like whimpering, crying, or anything like that, you know. And again, like, the dogs have all slipped off the stairs. Normally it's like the last stair or two, though. I think they misjudge it and stuff like that, and so they'll slide. But I guess she slid like right into the bookcase at the bottom of the stairs too. And so, you know, I was like, oh my gosh, like, is she okay and everything like that. And she was like totally fine. She wasn't whimpering. She wasn't like doing anything. And then we kind of noticed she was like limping a little bit. She had the same problem though for some reason, like over summer, and that we know of. She never had any like slips or accidents or anything like that, and it's the same leg. And honestly, I mean, she's older now, you know, and it was like, she wasn't like full on limping, but every once in a while, like, she kind of like limp on it a little bit, you know, but it wasn't like she was like picking it up and couldn't walk on it or whatever. And just because she is older, like, my mom and dad both assumed it's like that she has what's it called, arthritis, probably, because it is one leg that she tends to do it in more, and so she was doing that a little bit. And again, it was weird too, because it happened a little bit over summer, but as soon as we got the fence and she was able to run, it seemed like she was like fine after that, because it only lasted for like about a few weeks, and again, it wasn't like super persistent. It was just like kind of on and off. But once we got the you know, the fence, she would run in the backyard, and normally when she'd come inside, it'd be fine. The only time it ever seemed to bother her was when she would get up, and normally it was when she'd get up out of the chair, because if you guys have seen some of the vlogs, the way she sleeps in those recliners is ridiculous. She lays in a recliner chair that's closed sideways, so not even like the way, you know, like you would sit in a recliner chair. She lays in them so that her head's here, and then the middle of the recliner is like where the armrest is, sort of thing. And so normally when she gets up, that's when it seems like it bothers her, so we just think that it's like stiff, or, you know, whatever. And so that seemed like it was like giving her a little bit of a problem today. But then again, she went out in the backyard and she's running around with the dog, you know, with the puppies and with Jack and stuff like that, and she again seemed fine. So we just noticed again, it kind of seemed like it came back after she like tumbled down the stairs today. So you know, that was something we probably have to watch. But at first my mom was like, oh my gosh, like when I heard it, like I thought like she broke something, like we were gonna have to take her to like the emergency vet or something like that, like, you know. But immediately she got up and she started walking. And the other thing too though is that she avoids certain spots in the kitchen for some reason too, because I think she thinks that she's going to slip. So she walks all the way around the table instead of just walking through the kitchen, because sometimes if she gets up to a full enough speed, she can't like stop herself, you know. And because she's a bigger dog and she has so much weight behind her, and obviously her house isn't huge, she can't make, you know, super fast stops like the puppies can, and even half the time they end up running into stuff. But I think she's more nervous about running into things now. Like for some weird reason, like I said, it's funny too though, because my grandparents' dog used to do that. The dog would come into the kitchen and it would never turn around and go out of the kitchen. It'd always back up out of the kitchen. It was so weird. Like they'd be like, go, and like the dog would just like go backwards. Like it never would turn around in there and then like go backwards. Like I don't know why dogs are just super weird and like have really weird, like, I don't know if it's like phobias or if they're like, you know, like because something happened before, like maybe she slipped in the kitchen before and so that's why she walks all the way around the kitchen table now, or what it is. But yeah, like I said, her hip normally, like we just noticed it, seemed like it was more over the summer when she was what was I gonna say, when she would get up out of the chair. If she got like off of her own dog bed or her out of like Matthew's bed or something like that, or you know, laying on the floor or anything like that, she'd be totally fine. It was just we noticed whenever she'd get out of the recliners. And so again, once we got the fence in the backyard and she was able to run around, she seemed like she just kind of ran it off. And then even laying in the recliner, she didn't seem to have that problem. But today it seemed like it was kind of back. So yeah, it might be like an arthritis thing or something like that, but we are gonna have to keep an eye on her again as well. But like I said too, it comes and goes, and it felt like it was the exact same thing today. Like she was again in the backyard running around with all three of them today, and was totally fine and was able to put weight on it and wasn't limping or anything. I just think it's when she gets out of there, because she lays so funky, like that is clearly not comfortable. I don't know how she can sleep like that. And sometimes too, she will even cry that she like if there's too many people sitting in the seats in the living room, and like there's like Jack is on the other one or something like that, she'll cry because she wants to lay on it, like, you know. And so I don't understand how it's comfortable. But even when we have her dog beds and stuff like that too, she won't lay on them. She wants to lay on the recliners, which is bizarre. But yeah, she's okay, which is good. But it was so scary too, because I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? And again, I woke up and was like in such a, like, you know, just barely awake. I was like, what is happening right now? I was like, I clearly heard somebody just fell down the stairs. And honestly, I thought like Jack slid down the stairs too. Like it sounded loud. And then I thought maybe like they tripped each other or something like that. And so like I was so confused. But I didn't see exactly what happened. Jack was just like, yeah. And then like the fact that she ended up sliding into the bottom of the thing too, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for her. But she immediately like came into the hallway and kept going to where she was going, because originally Jack was like, come on Bliss, let's go outside. And she just, as soon as she tumbled down the stairs, and then she immediately tries to get back out the door. My mom's like, wait, let's take a look at you and make sure you're okay. And yeah, then she seemed like she was fine. And then like I said, we kind of noticed that she was just like limping with her paw a little bit. But again, it's so weird because it's not even something that lasts very long. It's like once she's up for a couple minutes, then she's fine again. So I think it is maybe like she has arthritis in her hip or something like that. I mean, it's something that we could probably end up getting looked at, but it wasn't like an emergency vet visit kind of thing today, which is good. And again, guys, I honestly, Ike, oh my gosh, the amount of times that dog jumped down the stairs is ridiculous. Like, there was one time my mom had just gotten home from the hospital, and she was in the hospital for like a couple days, and we were actually upstairs cleaning their room at the time. and there was like a bag of garbage that was in front of the door, but like not totally in front of the door, like it was just kind of in front of the door so it would help hold it open, but you could still get around it and walk down it, you know, walk down the stairs. But we had the bag just, you know, pushed over towards the door. The dog heard my mom, and he was like, honestly guys, like I think kind of more what the puppies are to me is what like Ike was to my mom, even though he really liked spending time with me. But like my mom was like, you know, his person. And he heard her voice after, like I said, a few days of her being in the hospital, jumped over the bag and just all the way down the stairs. And I was like, oh my gosh, now we're gonna have to go to the vet hospital for Ike. And immediately got up, just walked to her, you know, was like totally fine. And we were like, oh my gosh, is he okay? And like totally fine, nothing, no limp, no nothing, like nothing days after or anything like that, like was just totally fine. So yeah, it's strange how, you know, I'm sure they're sore and stuff like that too, like dogs and animals and everything like that, but sometimes they don't even let you know that they're like hurt, or, you know, like, I mean, immediately they might start like, you know, crying and stuff like that, or yelping or whatever. But if not, like, you know, you'd think like bones, you know, muscles and everything like that, like they're still sore after the fact, just like humans are. But you never, you know, you never hear it from the dogs, like that they are in any kind of pain or uncomfortableness after, you know, like I said, like I'm sure she'll probably be stiff and stuff like that come tomorrow as well. But yeah, we'll make sure that she gets extra treats and things like that for Christmas. Anyways though guys, I will see you all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.